Did you know the IRS will waive penalties and interest simply by asking them to waive them? You heard that correctly. You can call the IRS and say, hey, I failed to file my tax return on time. I failed to pay my taxes on time. Please waive my penalties. And they will waive the penalties related to that failure. It's called the first time abatement. And you can do the first time abatement for personal tax returns and business tax returns. So what's the catch? There's always a catch. Well, the catch is you have to be in compliance for the last 3 years. That means you can't do anything wrong for those last 3 years. And if you are in good standing and in good compliance, then all you have to do is call the IRS up and say, hey, I want to get my penalties and interest waived under the first time abatement rule. And they will go into the computer, they'll get your information, and they'll look to see if you were compliant the last 3 years. And if you were, boom, they'll waive the penalties. It's as simple as that. Again, the catch is you have to be compliant. I've had two situations within the last 2 to 3 months where someone has come to me and said, hey, I think I need to get these penalties and interest waived. Can you get them waived for me? And I asked them, okay, well, in the last 3 years, have you been compliant? And they've said, yes, I've been compliant. Then we do the research and we call the IRS and they've missed payments. I had one client who failed to pay $45. $45 in taxes. The penalties and interest they were trying to get waived was several $1,000s. And simply because they didn't pay the $45 on time, they lost their opportunity for a first time abatement. Something as simple as asking. So that's why I always tell prospective clients, and for my clients, we always file extensions. I know a lot of people hate filing extensions, but filing an extension is an easy way to prevent penalties. And when you file your extension, you make sure you pay your full balance that's due on or before April 15th. So when we file extensions, we calculate an estimated amount of what you're going to owe. And when we make that estimate, it's going to be significantly more than what the tax calculation would be, because we want to have enough room for error. And we want to make sure that that failure to pay penalty is not incurred, because we want to make sure that if you ever need it, if something happens, you forget to file, or something just slips your mind, or there's some kind of emergency, then you just want to be able to know, okay, I know I was compliant for the last 3 years. I don't have to worry about that I didn't file on time. I'm just going to call up, get the first time abatement, and not have to worry about it at all. But even if for some reason you don't qualify for the first time abatement, there's a thing called reasonable cause. And that means you had a reasonable cause for not filing on time. Now, reasonable cause is defined by the code. So you can't, what you might think is reasonable, the IRS may not think it's reasonable. But those are two ways that you can eliminate penalties. And again, the easiest way to do that is to remain compliant and then use this first time abatement to waive your penalties and interest.